Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition here of Step Chat, coming at you live from the Fortress of Solitude here outside of Seattle, Washington. Good to see you all. And for the first time ever, we are trying to do the live broadcast on both Instagram and Facebook at the same time. So here I am trying to turn everything down and get all this crap, and I don't know why that's not loading. There we go. Okay. So there we go. Okay, so I'm trying to get all my volumes turned down, everything else. So welcome. Good to see you all. Thank you all very much for being here. Exciting times to say the least. And I guess I'm going to get notifications on both, which is kind of weird. But I'm actually watching. It's like so weird now because I'm doing like two things at once here. So this is very, very new for me. So you have to forgive me, guys. So yeah, so there we go. Welcome. Hi, good to see you all. Also, I'm hoping that I'm coming through a little clearer normally because an early birthday present for my parents. I was very happy about that. They treated me to a actual professional level microphone, which is really nice. I've just been using a basic, Amazon instant, cheapo microphone for years on my podcast episodes. And then tonight, just on a whim, when I did the Zoom call with my parents prior to the show, I thought I'd try it out. And they said, oh, the definitely a different quality, completely off the board. So I thought that was good to go. So let's see. So let's see who we have in the chat with us tonight so far. Miss Stephanie, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you very much. Dory, good to see you. Mr. Phil Whitehead, our director of security at Float, fantastic. Coco, good to see you. Juana Jimenez, one of our fabulous fashion designers, coming to Float. Good to see you. Jenny, one of my favorite Floridians. You are. Jenny, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Greg Aragoni, our fabulous crew member and fill-in instructor. Adrian Winfrey's with us tonight, one of our fabulous masterclass instructors coming to Float. So yeah, we got a bunch of people coming. Bergen, good to see you as well. Thank you very much for being here. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on tonight to talk about here on the Floativerse. It's weird too because I'm never sure where I'm looking at. So there's two windows now for me to see here. Natasha, look at you upping your social media. Yes, I'm trying very hard to be a little bit better here. I'm not seeing any. Oh. Well, wait, hold on. No, that's not it. So apparently we're not getting a lot. There we go. Okay. I was getting ready to say it doesn't look like we're getting a lot of traction on Instagram, but it's starting to come in there everywhere. Ronice, good to see you. Okay, now real quick. Is it Ronice? Is it Ronice? Is it the first one or the second one? Because I want to make sure I have it pronounced correctly. So there we go. Thank you, Natasha. Yes, I am absolutely trying to up it up. If I had a tablet, we might have tried YouTube Live too. So there you go. But yeah, well, good to see you all. Thank you all very much for being here. Okay, we have a lot of stuff to get over tonight. Mary Hohikian, good to see you. Boom Balloon, good to see you as well. Thank you very much for being here. Over on the Instagram side of things. I promise, though, I'm not going to spend the whole night saying hello and thank you and blah, blah, blah. I promise. We actually have real content to get to tonight. For those of you that are new to this particular setup, and to those of you that I've not had the pleasure yet of meeting, my name is Stephen Jones. I am the executive director of the Float Convention, which is coming up in 49 days. It's going to be taking place in Reno, Nevada. We're very excited about that. And every Sunday night on Facebook for the last almost 6 years now, we have conducted this show called Step Chat. And basically, it is just a matter of coming up every week and talking to everybody about what's happening in the Floativerse. And then on top of that, just basically answering questions and that kind of, especially the closer and closer we get to Float, we're getting more and more people with questions all the time. So every week I make myself available for a good hour and a half so that people can ask questions and this, that. Plus we have information to present as well. So with this being said, we're going to get to this real quick. I'm going to give a few shout outs to the folks that are coming in here. David Williams, good to see you, sir. Thank you very much for being here. As always, Angela, a pleasure to see you. Melody, good to see you. Ronice, good. I had it right the first time. Tabitha Miller, one of our fabulous instructors. The Slumbers, that is Dania, if I remember correctly, right? Good to see you. Thank you very much. Are you back in the country yet? Are you back here? Hopefully everything's back. Joette, one of our fabulous sponsors. Good to see you. Thank you very much. And on the other side of things, Let's see, Cali Soiree. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me here. And our friends at Premier Balloon Imports, one of our fabulous sponsors and vendors coming to float. Thank you very much for that. So there we go. All right. Was it Danielle? Okay, good. I got it right. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. So with that being said, every Sunday night, like I said, we do this presentation. We do a live Q&A. We do all kinds of stuff. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go through the slideshow first. If a question pops up along the way, that's perfectly fine. If it's a topic I know I'm going to cover, I'm going to have you hold off on it a little bit. And of course, at the end, we tend to get a lot more questions when everything's all said and done. So we'll go from there. So thank you all very much for being here. We really appreciate your time. And with that being said, bear with me while I go. Oops, that's not it. That's the wrong button. Hold on one second. So you would think by all this time, but this whole double thing is kind of freaking me out a little bit. So let's see here if we get this going. There's that. I have no idea what this is going to look like over here. And again, you have to understand. So for those of you, again, that are playing at home, when I switch formats or when I go to the full screen, I cannot see anything anymore that's coming up on the feed. So that's why I'm looking at both my phones here to see what's going on. And as of right now, I'm not seeing the slide on either screen. Am I correct here? I wonder if this is a, hold on, let's try this again. Let's see if we can, yeah, because we're not seeing it. So hold on one second. Let's stop sharing and let's get back to this again. So bear with me, guys. Like I said, this is our first time doing this. I didn't get really a chance to try this out earlier today. So let's try this again. Sometimes if you do it, so I might have to do the entire screen. So if that's the case, I'm going to need just a minute to get ready here. I just got to close a bunch of apps and stuff out. So there's that. So yeah, other than that, I hope everybody had a good week. Like I said, I'm killing time right now as I close out apps and things. So I do a lot of my graphics in InDesign, and unfortunately, I have a lot of files open right now, so I have to literally go through and close all these out. And hopefully, this will work fine. And if not, we'll have to figure out what we're going to do about it. But yeah, bear with me here. So I'm just, like I said, I'm closing a bunch of document files and everything else. Whether I've been printing badges, I've been making graphics for the slideshow at Float, all kinds of fun stuff. Cancel. So I got to save that as another file. See, there we go. That's when we got a problem. Murphy, you're driving me nuts already, dude. All right, there's that. Close that out. All right, yeah. The last time I did this, there was a while there. There was a while with the system, and now I'm frozen. Fantastic. All right, so I guess the real question at this point is, can everybody hear me okay? Because I definitely appear to be frozen. So hold on one second. Okay, so we're back on that note. There we go. So sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I was doing all this work down here and I didn't realize that I was actually offline at the moment, frozen. That is the one thing I'm not super wild about StreamYard, is that it does have a tendency to freeze up quite a bit while we're doing this. So, okay, so you could at least hear me when all that was going on. Okay, great. What program did you mention you use for graphics? I use Adobe InDesign. I am not yet a Canva person, and I don't know that I'm gonna be. But then again, I've seen some very impressive things done with Canva. But I've been using the same system now for over 10 years, so I've just kind of gotten used to it, I guess you could say. And so I'm kind of hesitant to learn a whole new thing, but I know I probably should, because, like I said, I've seen some of the notes that the teachers have been providing, and they look fabulous. And I know a lot of them were done on Canva, so. That's another reason right there for me to try to start using some of that stuff. Sorry, guys, I am still closing things. Okay, I think I finally got just about there. Like I said, I do apologize. This whole system is very new for me here. Come on, man. My computer is also very very full right now with lots of stuff, and it's just not. So everything is taking forever now. Um, okay, that's what's going on. So that's not responding. And I do apologize, guys. By the way, I don't know who it was. Somebody literally Facebook messaged me. For God's sakes. And I'm being emailed right now. Is there step chat tonight? Yeah, step chat tonight. So, but now is not the time to ask me because Lord knows I can't respond at the moment. Okay. All right. So let's try this again. Now that we got all that stuff shut down and it's all closed up and everything else, let's see if we can do this again. So bear with me. We're going to go back and try and share the screen again. This time, rather than sharing a window, we're going to try to share the entire screen. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge for me. So, because you're going to see like a time tunnel, and then we'll get to this in just a second. So hold on one second. All right, so there's that. Yep, here we go. Let's see if we actually get this. It's still not working. It's still not working. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm going to try one more time, and if it doesn't work, we're just going to have to skip the slideshow. So hold on one second here. I mean, again, I can always just I can always just do this without the slideshow, but it obviously it's more interesting, I think, with the slideshow. So let's go from there. Okay, so let's try it one more time, and let's see if we've got Murphy. Would you please? No, we're not getting it through. I don't know what's going on. The slideshow or this isn't working. So with that being said, we're not going to be able to do it. So I do apologize, everybody. I'm not sure why the slideshow is not functioning the way it's supposed to. And it's very possible that it just doesn't work when I'm doing this multi thing. So with that being said, we're just going to refer to the slideshow tonight. So I'll use it and we'll talk about stuff and everything else. So welcome. What I'll probably do is I will integrate the slideshow into the YouTube recording. So for those of you that do pay attention to our YouTube channel, when this is recorded, I'll upload the pictures onto it so you guys can see it then. And we can go from there. Of course, it also means that right now you get to see the dog playing with me, so it's fine. Okay, well, once again, I do want to remind everybody that we are just 49 days away from float. I actually get there, I think, in 44 days, but we are 49 days away from opening night. So thank you all very much for that. Melody, I got your question, and I will come to that momentarily. Okay. So the first thing that we need to talk about tonight, for those of you that are registered for float, today is the last day to get signed up for the Floaty Awards at the $3 per entry price point. For those of you that are unfamiliar, Float gives away. We do a contest, or it's like a photography contest, where not everybody enjoys doing photos. Not everybody likes to do live competitions, but almost everybody's perfectly comfortable taking a picture of their work and showing it off. So the idea behind the Floaties is it is a photo submission contest. There are 33 categories. You can find all about this by traveling and visiting. You can visit us at floatconvention.com and then go to the competitions page. And then at that point, we'll be more than happy. You can see all the rules there for everything. There are 33 different categories. So basically, if you can think it up, it's pretty much there. And then with all that being said, all of the rules are there as well for how to submit and everything else. But if you want to get your entries turned in at the lowest possible price, which is $3 an entry, you need to do it today. Because if you don't do it today, then you're stuck with $5 as of tomorrow. Now, keep in mind, it's not just a matter of I got to pay for them today. Okay? If you sign up today, if you get in here and you actually sign up for Floaty Awards, you have 24 hours to get them turned in. If you don't turn them in within 24 hours, you will be either refunded and you'll have to pay again, or you'll be sent a bill for the difference. Because the whole point behind this is to prevent people from showing up and then basically slamming us at the end with 500-600 photos, which has happened before. So don't think it can't happen. That was the absolute worst. And also remember, so people that there have been some of you today that have been submitting your payments, and then you're emailing me pictures with descriptions of the pictures. No, that ain't it. There's a separate email address you send them to. There's a separate way you are supposed to label those photos. And believe me, if you don't do it correctly, they'll be sent back to you. Okay. So please make sure that you are doing it correctly. So there you go. Also, I do want to remind everybody, since Tabitha just brought it up, yes, teachers are allowed to enter the floaties. Teachers are not allowed to compete at float. They're not allowed to enter the design competitions. They're not even allowed to assist on design competitions, but they can enter the floaties. So there's that. So don't forget, if you haven't got it done by today, then you'll be looking at $5 an entry starting tomorrow all the way through December 21st. And then through the end of the year, they go up to $7. The link for payment is available at floatconvention.com/orange store. That's orange like the color, store like the retail. So floatconvention.com/orange store. I forget that you guys can't see the slide I'm looking at, so I do apologize for that. I need to do a little research and find out why this isn't working. So there you go. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Flotation passes. It's coming up sooner than we thought. For those of you that are interested in the VIP flotation pass for float, those officially end 1 week from tomorrow. So we will be closing them down. We will be closing them down officially on December 15th. You have to be signed up in advance in order to get the flotation pass. You can't wait till 3 days before float anymore and buy one. You got to pay for it in advance. We have to order stuff for it. So there's that. Coco, I'm going to get to you in just a second. I'll come back to that. So for those of you that are unfamiliar, the flotation pass is essentially a VIP all-exclusive bulk rate pass for float. So your registration at float gets you into all the general classes. It gets you into the vendor showcase. It gets you into the social functions. It even gets you a ticket to the final night gala. However, we have 8 different master classes going on at float. We have 4 different bonus classes going on at float. We have 3 flash classes at lunch during float that come with lunch. We have free headshots this year. We have all kinds of other stuff that's included with it. And in addition to that, it also allows you to sign up in advance for your classes in front of everybody else, which is a great thing because it actually means that you will get all kinds of fun stuff. Hola, marry me. What does that mean? I don't know what your question is referring to. So could you be more specific in the comments on Instagram? And I'd be happy to help you out. Okay. So with the flotation pass, this is a pass that you purchase in addition to your registration. This is not in exchange for your registration. This is a pass that you pay in addition to the registration. Okay. And basically what that does for you is it gets you a bulk rate on all of that stuff for one low price. So that's really good. The flotation pass is normally, the value of the flotation pass is roughly $1,300. You get to purchase it with the flotation bundle for $895. Okay. Those officially expire. They officially expire on Monday of next week. So you've got to sign up for flotation before Monday of next week. Okay. Now I'm going to go back real quick and talk about Coco's question because the timing is there. Where do the photos go? It's all in the rules, but you're going to send them to info@floatconvention.com. You do not send them to me. You send them to info@floatconvention.com. Keep in mind, however, each photo has to be labeled a certain way. That's why you need to go to the rules on the competitions page on the website and review the rules. Because I'm dead serious. We're going to send them back to you if they're not done right. Well, look who it is. Little Miss Majestic Wood Party Rentals. Leslie Hicks, one of our fabulous instructors coming to float, and Poco Loco. Little crazy. There you go. Good to see you, Leslie. Thank you for being here. Okay. Now, I also want to remind everybody that next Monday, there's something else happening next Monday, not just the flotation pass. And that is, it'll be your last chance. If you have to cancel your registration to float, that will be your last chance to do so and still get a refund. Okay. Or I should say a partial refund. So keep that in mind. If you have signed up for float and you have to cancel, you have until next Monday to cancel. And remember, we don't need a reason. We just need a request. Okay. Steve, I'm sorry I can't go. I need my money back. Great. Now, remember, there is a cancellation fee of $100, okay, off whatever you paid. And there is also the $9 planetreg.com service charge. We never had that money to begin with. So that money's non-refundable either. If you signed up for anything else, if you signed up for added value stuff, if you signed up for master classes or bonus classes or the flotation pass, you will be fully refunded for that with the exception of the transaction fee. The transaction fee is, again, something that, like with PayPal, when you make your purchase, they charge me a transaction fee. If I refund all your money back to you, they don't give me that fee back. I still had to pay that fee. So you will sacrifice that fee. Okay, you'll get everything back but then. Devora, good to see you. One of our fabulous instructors coming forward. Why are you talking about this? No one should be canceling. I totally agree with you. But one of the things that we try to do at Float is we try to be very upfront, very transparent with everybody. And so I feel like we have to make sure that we give people adequate opportunities and action because it never fails. Somebody's going to call me on the 16th and be like, well, you never said anything. When I can document in about 7 or 8 different spots where we did, including the registration form that you agreed to when you clicked on and says, I agree to the terms. That was the first place it was. But we understand that people glaze over that. So we try to make sure that everybody understands going in what this is. We try to be as upfront and honest with everybody about all of this fun stuff so that we don't have to worry about it. So there's that. Oh God, what happened here? There we go. Okay. Back again. Okay. So December 15th. Now, remember, if you cancel after December 15th, you can cancel all day long, but you ain't getting no money back. And remember, we don't roll over. We don't transfer. You cannot sell your registration to somebody else. And you don't get to now come to Float 2028. Nope. Because the bottom line is on these days, we got to start giving the hotel counts. Your money is now being spent. Okay. I'm sorry. It's the nature of the beast. The best way I can describe this, it is very similar to you're doing a wedding. You're doing the balloons for a wedding. It's basically the night before the damn wedding. And the bride says, oh my God, I just found my groom in bed with the maid of honor. Wedding's off. Can I get my money back? Hell no, you can't get your money back. I've already blown everything up. In the world of convention production, a month out is the night before. So, and I hate to say this, it doesn't matter. It's always, I talk about this every time. It's always so funny because when we get cancellations now, it's, hey, Steve, I can't make it. Can I get my money back? Sure. After the 15th, I get epic novels written to me or phone calls that go on for 30 minutes with the biggest sob stories in the world, and you have to make an exception. I don't mean to be rude to anybody. I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone. But at the end of the day, if I'm giving money back out of that, see, until the 15th, the float money really ain't my money yet. Okay. It becomes my money on December 16th. So now you're asking me to give you money from my pocket at that point. Okay. That's why it can't work. So there you go. Okay. Tiasha Eccles, good to see you on our Facebook feed. Thank you very much. I also want to remind each and every one of you that we need your headshots. We need your headshots, please. For those of you that are coming to Float, we need them for your badges. But I need to remind everybody, please, please, please remember, number one, do not send me full body shots because that doesn't help for a headshot. Secondly, please don't send me a photo from 1987. Yeah, you may have looked really good 5 years ago. Okay. You might have looked good 20 years ago, whatever. Please send me a picture that is recent. Remember, this is pretty much for the badges. Now, yes, we are converting them into social media stuff for you, but you don't have to post that. But at the end of the day, we need this for your badge. Please, in your photos, do not be wearing hats, do not wear sunglasses, do not wear anything that will obstruct the view of your head. Now, obviously, religious elements are different, and we will make exceptions for those. But I understand that you might be a little bit thin up top and you don't really like that. Okay. We totally understand that, but you got to send us something. Oh, snap on Instagram. What email do you want us to send the picture? Thank you. That's a great question. You will send the photos to steve@floatconvention.com. Okay. Steve@floatconvention.com will work for that. And also, finally, please, dear God in heaven, no filters. Do not send me cartoon avatars of you, because that doesn't exactly work as identification. And dear God in heaven, please stop sending me AI enhanced photos. Again, I know we all look better with AI enhancement. But guys, look, this is about security. So please send me legitimate photos. Come on. Let's be real about this. Hey, look, it's Mara Vasquez, one of our fabulous sponsors. There you go. Mara, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you very much. Watching us over on the Instagram account. Natasha, but I look great in 1987. I was an adorable infant. And I was 1 year out of high school. Wow. Yes, I'm old. I don't care. All right. Also, speaking of badges, I do want to remind everybody, where did he go? He's back there. I do want to remind everybody that just like in the past two conventions, when you get to float, you will be lining up this time by way of your first name. Okay. We are no longer lining people up by last name. Hello, Murphy. Okay. So since he's here, let's introduce everybody to Murphy. Let's get him up here because he's getting all anxious. Thank you, sir. I'm waiting for this to catch up to see where he's at in the shot. But there you go. All right. So there he is on Facebook and there he is on Instagram. So for those of you that are unaware, this is Murphy. This is I would say co-host, but he's really not my co-host. He's more of the backstage manager that cannot contain himself. So yeah, there we go. Thank you, sir. Okay. We'll go home soon. We go home every day about 5 or 6 o'clock. Well, normally. And of course, he has been all up my butt for the last 2 hours because, come on, we're supposed to go. And we're not going. And of course, all the hearts come out when the dog comes out. So there you go. Okay. So again, just as a reminder, because so many people either have hyphenated names, and sometimes they go by one of the hyphenated names, and sometimes they go by the other hyphenated name, and other times they go by both hyphenated names. And of course, when they get to the front desk at Float, they give us the wrong one. And then they're angry that nobody can find their badge. We also have an issue a lot of times with Hispanic delegates because, unlike most English speaking or English culturally centric names, with a first name and a surname or last name, depending on how you look at it. In a lot of the Hispanic culture, they have multiple names. And so sometimes on the registration form, they'll say, I'm not going to pick on Mara, but since Mara's watching in the crowd, I'll just say Mara Vasquez, right? But it might be Mara Maria Evangelista Vasquez. And so when they say I'm Mara Maria Vasquez or whatever, then they go to look up Marie or they go to whatever and they can't find them. And so we've learned that by going with just the first name now, we eliminate about 95% of those problems. So when you line up for the registration desk at Float, please remember that you will be lining up by your first name. Elaine Holmes, good to see you. There you go. We got two names. There you go. Two last names. Yes, that those things happen. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not suggesting that there's anything wrong with it at all. It's just it becomes problematic because the issue is like we've gone through and printed every stinking person's name and every badge. We've printed all of them. And what'll happen is I'll get a phone call. There's no badge for blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, there is. No, there isn't. We've searched. And then I go up there, and then I got to go digging. In the old days, we would just make a new badge. And I remember there was one year specifically that they had me make 40-something new badges for badges that were allegedly not there. And then when everything was done, they were like, oh, I guess it was here. And I was very upset because that's a tremendous amount of wasted time, as you can imagine. So there's that. I also want to remind everybody that due to popular demand, we are going to once again feature the Philomena Toy Drive, or the Teddy Bear Drive at Float. So at opening night, we do this every year for a fundraiser or for a charitable effort for our friends at Shine for Isla. So we are asking everyone coming to Float to bring a stuffed animal. It doesn't have to be a bear. It could be anything at all. But we ask you to bring a stuffed animal, either brand new or very gently used. Okay, because all of those bears are going to be collected up at the end, and they're going to be sent to our friends at Shine for Isla, who are going to donate them to children's hospitals in the name of our good friend Isla, who passed away very shockingly and very just 12-year-old girl literally went to bed one night, didn't wake up. 1 month after her 12th birthday. It's pretty messed up. So her family developed the Shine for Isla campaign. And so we will be once again collecting teddy bears and plush animals to give to the Shine for Isla campaign so that they can brighten the lives of children all over children's hospitals throughout the Western Washington region. So there you go. Please put the address for the picture to Steve in the chat. Natasha, can you do me a favor? I don't know that Dina's out here tonight. Can you do me a favor and type the steve@floatconvention.com email address into the chat? Because never mind, Bergen got it. Thank you, Bergen. Appreciate you. That's over on the Facebook side of things. So there you go. There you go. Kelly Lee, I see you sitting there, floatballoons.ca. Good on Instagram. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Okay. So I am very thrilled to share with you all that we got 2 new sponsors this week coming involved with Float. One of them's coming, one is not coming. One of them's got some timing issues, so they decided to turn around instead and become the last sponsor on the back of our t-shirts. So as you know, by coming to Float, if you signed up before December 1st, you were guaranteed to get the free event t-shirt. Oh, thank you, Leslie. So Leslie typed my email address in the chat there on Instagram as well. Thank you, Leslie. Appreciate that. So you get a free event t-shirt by coming to Float. And those shirts are sponsored by 4 different delegates, where our final sponsor picked up the very last t-shirt spot the other day. So we want to give a big round of applause to our friends at Roca Fun Factory out of Italy. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. And so now our t-shirts are fully sponsored at this point. So we're very excited. So our friends at Roca Fun Factory have sponsored the t-shirts. Thank you very much to all of our friends, both in Italy and Wendy from the local team here in the United States. So thank you very much for that. Also, I got the most surprising email the other day from somebody I've not heard from in a very long time. And for those of you old schoolers, when Pioneer Balloon went by the wayside, you know what? Before I get to that, let's address Kelly's question. Kelly's got a question on Instagram. Do y'all bring your favorite inflator with you if you're hoping to jump in and help with builds? So here's my answer to that. If you want to be guaranteed access to an inflator, yes, you should bring one with you. Float does have inflators that can be checked out, but they are prioritized based upon instructors first and then event decor second. So you need to, so basically at that point, if you want to be guaranteed to have an inflator with you, I would recommend bringing one. Yes. I often bring a dual sizer with me, a Conwin dual sizer. And I just bring it as a carry-on item on the plane. So there's that. I got a question here on Instagram. Can we still register for the shirt? The answer is no. You can register, and if we have extra shirts, you might be able to get one. But if we don't, the answer is no, because the deadline for that was December 1st. The deadline for the t-shirts and the complimentary stuffed tote bags were December 1st. Now, keep in mind with the tote bags, we've ordered extra. And the way that's going to be handled is it's prioritized based upon the order in which people sign up. So we will have more bags than we will have people who signed up by December 1st. But if you signed up by December 2nd, you're going to get one instead of somebody who signed up maybe on December 28th. Okay, because it's all in sequence. So if you want to get one of those, you need to get signed up as soon as possible. Go to floatconvention.com and sign up. You're not guaranteed, but your chances are much better. Okay. And I just shared that with you just now. Floatconvention.com. There you go. We'd love to have you join us. So thank you. All right. Now, our other sponsor, I said I got a very interesting email the other day. When Murphy stopped. When Pioneer Balloon Company shut down, a lot of the executives kind of disappeared into the ethos. And the only one I had not heard from was a gentleman by the name of Dan Flynn. And I was just like, I wonder what happened. 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 Well, now I know what happened. Stop, Mr. Murphy. That's enough. So now I know what happened. Dan Flynn now works for our friends at Balloons Everywhere. And thanks to Dan and his support, we now have a new sponsor involved with Float. So thank you very much to our friends at Balloons Everywhere for coming on board and choosing to support Float. Right now, because they're still trying to figure out everything that's going on, okay, they just came in as a digital sponsor for right now, but it's my understanding that they are absolutely going to come on board as a larger sponsor. They wanted to make sure they hit the print deadline, which was the other day. So there you go. So we have to do that. We got a good question from Boom Balloon on Instagram. Do we have to send an email to get the complimentary stuff? Don't think I got any instructions after registering at the end of November. No, because you signed up on time. When you registered, one of the questions you were asked is, what is your shirt size? You filled that in. And because you signed up before December 1st, you're automatically guaranteed to get the tote bag. You're already in the count. So no, you don't have to do that. So you're good to go. Okay. So there's that. Okay. Let's see here. As Leslie pointed out, I personally, Leslie pointed out, I usually take one as a carry-on because you've heard of people losing them when they get checked. Yeah. The only time that I've ever checked my inflators, I used to have a very large toolbox with wheels on it that I would travel with, and the PA fit perfectly inside, and I would pad it with balloons. That was the only way I would travel with it. That's it. That's the only way I would travel with it, because it was such an obnoxious container that it was almost impossible to lose. So yeah. And then when I go through TSA, I mean, almost always I go through TSA all the time, and being TSA pre-check, it does make things a little bit easier. The one thing that I do highly recommend to everyone, though, if you are traveling with a PA or any kind of inflator for that matter, if you're traveling with any kind of electric inflator and you're going through the TSA pre-check, make absolutely certain that you clean them before you take them. Miss Stephanie, yeah, there you go. Remind them to clean them. Clean your machines before you get to TSA. The reason for this is because excessive amounts of balloon powder can test positive for bomb-making material. I've done it, and I've been the guy who's been standing there annoyed as hell because I'm like, why are there 4? I told you what it is. Why? And then somebody comes up to me and says, because you tested positive for bomb-making residue. And at that point, I'm like, I'll wait. I'm fine. Take your time. Do what you got to do. So yeah, it is a thing. So make absolutely certain that you wipe the machine down really, really good. If there's a WD-40 policy with your inflator, if you clean the inside out with WD-40 or whatever, do that as well. I would recommend it, but that way you're good to go. Shouldn't have any issues that way. Okay. So we do want to take this opportunity once again to thank our friends at Balloons Everywhere and Roca Fun Factory for coming on board as a sponsor at Float. And according to Miss Stephanie, she's very happy with our friends at Balloons Everywhere. So thank you. Okay. So Let's see here. Yeah, it's a real thing, guys. All right. Now, I mentioned we had 2 new sponsors. We also have a new vendor coming to Float. Very excited about this. They're not a new vendor because they've been to Float before, but they finally signed up and it's their first time. So we're very excited about them coming. Our good friends at Loftus International, everybody, are now coming. Visit them in booth F9 during the vendor showcase. Very, very excited to have them coming back with us. Cynthia Jackson. The long lost Cynthia Jackson is back with us tonight, everybody, on Facebook. Good to see you, Cynthia. Thank you so much for being here. Good to see you, my dear. So there's that. But yes, sorry. Our friends at Loftus are going to be joining us in the vendor showcase. We're looking forward to seeing them once again. So again, they'll be in booth F9. So make sure you check them out. And don't forget, if you are someone that has a service or product that you're trying to get in front of people to buy as far as the balloon industry goes, guys, I can't tell you enough. Float is, without question, the single biggest balloon convention, at least here in the United States, and it is now believed we are the biggest convention in the world. So in other words, if you want to have your product or service in front of the biggest potential audience you can have, then you really want to consider getting a booth at Float. Please reach out to me privately. You can reach out to me through the chat. You can reach out to me or anything else. I'll get to that in a second. And I'd be happy to talk to you about getting a booth at Float. So yeah, there's still plenty of spaces left. This year we went from having a showroom with 93 booth spaces in it at 8x8 to having 180 booth spaces at 10x10. We might have bitten off more than we could chew for this first one because we have a lot of spaces left. But again, we still have more booths than we've ever had before, which is fantastic. And we're all very happy about that. So, yeah, if you're looking to get a booth at Float, please let me know and we'll be happy to talk to you about it. Okay. Kelly asked a good question over on Instagram. Are you keeping any instructors a secret? The answer is no. All of the instructors have been publicized at this point. To my knowledge, everybody that is currently signed up to teach is coming. We do run it. We were a little bit worried about Alexander Solomatin, only because he lives in Russia and getting a passport or getting a visa to the United States might have been a bit sketch. But thankfully, everything's cleared. He's good to go and he's coming. So yeah, that was the only one I was worried about, to be honest. And that was the thing when Gemar first mentioned they were bringing him, I was like, are we sure he's going to make it? Because we had problems in the past with Ukraine situation and everything where they couldn't get approved, but apparently that is no longer the case. So we're very excited about that. Elaine Holmes has a question. Is there a charge to park the car at the hotel if I rent a car? The answer is no. It is a casino. Well, I shouldn't say that because in Vegas now they charge at all the casinos. No, Reno, in fact, valet is free. There's no charge to valet the car. You just tip the driver when you pick it up. So yeah, you're good to go. So there's that. I do want to remind everybody that we have announced the 2 Fulcrum panels that will be taking place at Float. For those of you that are unfamiliar, Fulcrum is our off event. So we do Float every 2 years, right? We do Float in 26. We'll do it again in 28. This January, we had Fulcrum in 2025, and we'll be hosting it again in 2027. Fulcrum is our business-centric conversation. And basically, it's more of a conference than anything. It's always about business topics. Well, this year, as always, once again, we have 2 different Fulcrum panels taking place at Float. Sorry, people are signing up for the dinging you hear are people that are actually signing up for the Floaty Awards. So we have 2 panels at Fulcrum on Sunday, January 25th. We just announced those topics last week. The first topic is analog marketing, making money without social media. The other panel is a repeat of the one we had in 2024, which was very, very popular, which is If I Knew Then, 100 Years of Experience, Insights, and Oops. These are with a panel of panel people. All the people that are on that panel have been in business for at least 25 years. So you're going to be sharing tips and tricks, things they learned over the years and mistakes they wish they'd never made, best things they ever did decide to do, that kind of thing. The other is about marketing your business without social media. Basically, it's about in-person networking events. It's about advertising. It's about all kinds of other things besides just being online and talking about stuff, like this. So, yeah. And as of right now, we are looking for panelists. We did get one panelist for the If I Knew Then conversation, which I'm very excited about. We'll announce that once we have that board filled. But if you feel that you are an expert in either one of those topics, if you've been in business at least 25 years and are coming to Float, you must be already registered to attend Float to be on a panel. Or if you think that you excel very well at marketing that doesn't necessarily involve social media, we'd love to talk to you and consider you for one of these panels. So let me know. You can just drop me a message or email me or whatever you want to do. I do want to remind everybody once again that we have been able to convince the hotel to open the spa's hairdressing services on Wednesday, the 28th. Why is that significant? Because that is the final night at Float. So again, please do not leave me hanging on this. Please, if you're coming to Float and you were one of those people saying, why are they not offering the services on Wednesday? Please go book those services, because if not enough people book them, I will not go to bat for you again. So please do that for me. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay. By the way, Elaine, unless you absolutely need to, I'm going to go back to Elaine's question real quick. I know that you've at least entered. Well, I shouldn't say anything. The bottom line is, remember, if there's certain things that you can order through us. So if you need things like conduit, you need things like PVC or piping or anything like that, that is something you can order through us and we can have delivered right to you. The hotel is only a 7-minute shuttle ride from the airport. And remember, the hotel provides a shuttle like every half hour. So there isn't much of a need to really rent a car at this particular event, I can assure you. Okay. I do want to remind everybody too that the vendor showcase, we switched up Monday. Monday is now the Float Night Market, and it is now official. The theme for that night is pajama party. So we are going to be doing, it'll be a pajama party at the Float Night Market. So what we've done is, instead of having the vendor showcase that day from 12 to 7, we have shifted it 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. And so there you go. Okay. So we're very excited about that. And yeah, so we're really happy about it. We got a DJ coming. We got a bars in there. We're going to have a really good time, but not too good of a time, because of the fact that we want you also to be able to visit with the vendors. So there's that. Okay. Shawnee asked a really good question over on Facebook. Hi, Steve. What time is the last shuttle at the airport? The last shuttle is scheduled to be picked up at 12:15 a.m. Okay. If you arrive, I would say if you arrive within 30 minutes prior to that time, you should call the hotel to confirm they're sending a driver. Okay. Just to cover your own butt. I will say that obviously all of the ride sharing services operate out of the same parking lot as the shuttle service does. There's just a different spot for you to go meet the drivers. So there's that. But yeah, it's literally, when you walk out the door at the airport, when you walk out to where the shuttle is, you can see our hotel. It's right there. So it looks a lot closer than it is, but of course it's one of those things where the building's so damn big, right? Like, it's like Vegas, that kind of thing. So there you go. Okay, let's talk about Aloft. For those of you that are unfamiliar, Float also has a streaming service called Aloft. We have over 150 videos, classes, and podcast episodes taught by some of the absolute best talent in the industry. It is original talent. I shouldn't say original, excuse me. It is original content. It is not the same replicated stuff you are seeing over and over and over and over and over again all over social media. These are the people that are actually originating these concepts that are teaching it for you. It's quality stuff. It's not a cheap ripoff. It's not a carbon copy. It's the good stuff. And so, by all means, you should check it out. This month, we have a very special class for you. It is a very special class for you. And I want to take a moment to set it up. So bear with me. And I might get a little emotional. And if I do, I apologize. But it's very difficult for me not to. In 2018, the balloon industry lost a very dear friend in the name of Deborah Fellman. Deborah was mostly a twister, but she had been to float a couple times. Deborah also had one of the absolute. Deborah's responsible for one of the most beautiful moments I've ever seen in my life. I cannot do it. I cannot go into it with you tonight without crying. I have never in my life seen something as beautiful as, you know what, maybe I can. Maybe I've finally gotten past this. Deborah Fellman stood up at Twist and Shout in, I think it was 2016. In after Royal Sorrell had passed away. And Deborah asked if she could speak. And Deborah shared a story at the gala, at their gala, of how Royal had changed her life. And Deborah was one of those people who never felt like she was seen. She always felt like she blended in the background. She was very self-conscious about her weight. And while she was one of the most beautiful people ever, she just always kind of hung back, right? After Royal's passing, Deborah stood up on stage. I can't do it. She took her life back. That's all I can say. It is without question one of the, if I had to list the moments of my life that have been the most moving, that's got to rank in like the top 3. I've never seen anything like this night. It was the most amazing night I've ever experienced. One of the most amazing nights I've ever experienced. Which is why it was so incredibly angering when a year later Deb was diagnosed with terminal cancer. I was fortunate enough to have known Deborah. She asked me if I would speak at her funeral, which, if you see me right now, I was a mess. I was a disaster. I couldn't, what should have been a 10-minute read was like 25 minutes because I just kept breaking down bawling. I've always been an emotional person that way. I can't, I have, it's true. I get upset very easily over things like that. And I get worked up. But Deborah was such a special person. She really was. Before she passed, she reached out to me and she asked me if I would do something for her. And of course I said yes. At that time, I was in the middle of putting together a project called Balloon Professionals Magazine. Or we had a magazine for a very short period of time. There were 2 issues. Excuse me. And it was an actual printed magazine. It was an actual book magazine. It was called Balloon Professionals Magazine. Deborah was really upset and really worried about the fact that she would be forgotten. And she didn't want to be forgotten. And so she, and Deborah was one of those twisters that was really good at entertaining, but she wasn't much of a designer, right? She didn't really come up with a lot of amazing designs and creations and, oh, look, now everybody's making my piece. She wasn't like that. She was great with kids. She was an amazing entertainer, but she, from a design standpoint, but there was one thing she was known for. There was one thing that Deborah was really, really known for. And that is that she wrote press releases really, really well. And this is something that she felt like this was something that she could do for the industry. And so, literally a few weeks before she passed, she sent me an email and sent the attachment and said, Could you please turn this into an article for Balloon Professionals magazine? And that way, I'll keep helping. Of course, I said yes. How could I not? Unfortunately, though, I said before there were two issues. The second issue had already been done. The rest of the magazine collapsed after that. And so Deborah's class, or Deborah's notes, was never converted into an article. Ladies and gentlemen, I am thrilled to share with you that now, through a loft, Deborah's going to live on. Because this coming month, we are going to be hosting The Power of Press Releases, featuring the talents of Deborah Feldman. That class is going to be taking place on Tuesday, December 23rd. The class will be at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, and of course, whatever the hell time it is where you are. If you are a member of a loft, you do nothing. You will be sent the invitation on December 22nd. If you are not a member of a loft, you have two options. You can join a loft at floatconvention.com/aloft. It's $80 for 6 months of access, or $120 for an entire year. And that breaks down to $10 a month, people. You can't get better ROI than that in this industry, period. Or you can just sign up on the website at floatconvention.com/orange store. You can pay $25 and take the class, and you get a free digital download afterwards. And everyone who signs up for the class and pays the $25 fee, that money is going to be given to cancer research. We are not keeping the money from this class, because I know what some of you are thinking. No. The money that is raised from the class enrollment is going to go to cancer research in Deb's name. So thank you all very much for that. I am also going to be joined by a couple people during the class. I'm sorry, I should be more specific. I'm going to be presenting her content. But again, it's not my content. It's all Deb's. Okay. I'm just going to be the mouthpiece so that they can be presented. In addition to that, we're going to have some special guests during the show who also knew Deb very well, who'll be sharing memories and stuff of Deb at that time as well. So I argued with myself about this. I really did. I wasn't sure if we should do it. Because I was honestly, my biggest fear and my biggest concern was that people were going to think you're just trying to capitalize on her death. That is not what we're doing. Again, I know that Deborah she was a very giving person, and this is something that she would, and again, she was very concerned that she would be forgotten. She has no idea how, as long as there's blood in the veins of every single person who was at Twist and Shout that night, she'll never be forgotten. Ever. It's not possible. So we hope you'll join us for the class. All right. Time to get to our street level content, folks. Let's talk about the Step Chat survey. For those of you that are members of the Float the Convention Facebook group, we always now host a Sunday question in the chat and throw it out there. And today's question, in honor of the class we just talked about: when is the last time you did a press release for your business? I'm kind of surprised. 42% of you that responded said, I have never done a press release for my business. We had the largest percentage that did, 36%, was within the last 5 years. Within the last 6 months, there was none. Within the last year, there was, I think, 2 people that actually said it. Me personally, the last press release I did was just about 5 years. It was just over 5 years ago. During the pandemic, we did a press release over some of the projects, the 1 Million Bubbles projects we were doing. I haven't really done. No, I'm sorry, that's not correct. We did press releases within the last 5 years. Yeah, because we didn't do them for the last couple 1 Million Bubbles because I wasn't honestly sure Wasn't honestly sure if I was even going to be able to get to do the project. Whereas when I was that time, I did. How do you do that? Well, okay, Kelly, there you go. You join a loft and you can or sign up for the class and you'll know exactly how to do a press release. By the way, I need to go back because Melody Kammer asked a great question earlier on the Facebook feed, and I never did answer it once we were in the a loft section. She asked, look, I just signed up for a loft recently. Do I need to really do anything else? No, you don't. I've got you. I've added you to the mailing list. When the next email goes out for the Aloft members, you'll get it. So there you go. Okay. So yeah, and we'll be expanding more and more on the benefits of Aloft and the flotation pass next week because again, with that deadline, there you go. I do want to remind all of you that YouTube or that Float is on YouTube at youtube.com/@thefloativerse. So if you are a YouTuber, we would love for you to like our videos, subscribe to our channel. This live broadcast will be recorded or uploaded to the YouTube channel as well. It is my hope that soon we'll be able to actually start live streaming there as well. We've actually considered doing a supplemental Step Chat episode in between shows on YouTube to try to reach a new audience. So there's that. But yeah, and like I said, with this video, I'll actually integrate the slideshow into the conversation as well, which means it's going to take me a little longer to get the video uploaded because we couldn't share the screen. But yeah, if you want to see the work I actually put in on this thing, you can check it out there. Also, we did officially launch our TikTok. We finally got on TikTok. We launched it last Monday on Cyber Monday. There's only one video there right now, but I have a very special guest in the video. So if you're on TikTok and you haven't seen it, please take a moment to go look at my one video. So there's that. Okay. There's that. So I'll be getting to more of them. All right, let's see what else we got here. Last installment for tonight is the Float Wall of Awesome. So to remind all of you once again, unfortunately, I can't show you the graphic that we normally do. So one of the things that we're going to be doing at Float this year is called the Wall of Awesome. And so when you're at Float, there's going to be this big balloon wall, and it's going to be covered in notes. And those notes are going to be when people at Float were awesome. It might be that, oh my God, I just took Tabitha Miller's class and it was amazing. You go to the reg desk, you fill out one of the cards, you hand it in. A couple times a day, they'll start putting them on the wall. So you can tell everybody how amazing Tabitha's class was. Or maybe you were blown away by Jesus Tejada's decor. Or maybe you were blown away by Rose at the registration desk who just took such good care of you or whatever, right? Or it could just be how much you love the new location. Or it could be the fact that you just love balloons in general and you want to brag about it. Doesn't matter what it is. We're going to have a physical manifestation of all those positive things at Float. And it's called the Wall of Awesome. But this week, we are doing our own little installment of the Wall of Awesome. And we're going to share that with you now. So in the past, so far recently, we've had our good friend Pia Guadalupe as one of the recipients. Brianna Silvio was one of the recipients. Last week, it was our friends at Having a Party for winning the registration contest. But tonight, I got somebody who's been putting up with a lot of crap because of me. And so I want to make sure that he is recognized. Tonight's Wall of Awesome is to Mr. Ryan Farewell, our competition director. So it turns out that in all the stuff that I'm trying to manage with Float, I completely screwed up and missed competition deadlines for product requests. And so I ended up having to dump them in Ryan's lap. And God love him, he has been putting up with all the slings and arrows from everybody, from the sponsors, and he's been dealing with the crap from the competitors, everything else. And I do really want to thank Ryan for taking on that responsibility. And again, it's all my fault. It's all my fault. I've taken full ownership of it. But I appreciate the fact that Ryan has been the one trying to clean up my mess. So folks, let's give a big shout out to Mr. Ryan Farewell. Thank you very much for that, Ryan. And with that being said, that will take us to the end of tonight's slideshow presentation, which of course none of you can see. So there's that. So yeah, there we go. Okay. I did see a question come in. Coco, thank you very much for that. It is at the Floativerse. Okay. So the TikTok is at the Floativerse. Thank you. So it's at the THE float and then IVERSE at the Floativerse. So there you go. There we go. Slumbers asked a question: How do we allow photography and recording of the classes? So, and Jenny Moonar hit it right on the head. You can take all the pictures you want. You just can't take them at a rate of 30 frames a second. There's no recording of video or audio content allowed in Float in the classrooms, I should say. Now, keep in mind, all of the general classes this year are going to be recorded. All of them. And thank you, Natasha, by the way, for putting that in the Facebook commentary there. There you go, for the actual handle for the TikTok. The plan is to put as many of those videos as possible on to oh wait, I forgot I can do this. There we go. Yay. Put the question. The plan is to put as many of them as possible onto Aloft. So just another reason why you want to join Aloft. We'll also be selling them as digital downloads through our site at balloondvds.com. But yeah, for the most part, it's now the reason why I can't guarantee which ones at this point, and the reason why I can't say for sure, is because when we do this, you have to understand to broadcast their class, right? Well, the issue here becomes very simple. If we do this with all of these instructors, we got to shell out $350 per class. 52 classes at Float. Do the math. That's a tremendous amount of money. So we have to make sure that the ROI is there, right? So there's that. So the plan is to put at least 10 of them up on. In fact, ideally, what I would love to do is every month between now and the next Float convention, upload a new class. But in order to do that, like I said, we got to have support through memberships, right? So there you go. So there we have it. So that's a great question. Thank you very much for asking. There we go. And then thanks to our friend Natasha, this is the handle for both. Technically speaking, this is our handle. I think this is the same handle for all three. This is the handle for TikTok, YouTube, and I believe it's our X handle as well. I'm not really on X that much, but yeah. So thank you so much for that, Natasha. Appreciate you, as always. So there we go. Okay, folks. Now we're at the point where we hang out for questions. So I am going to wait and see what other stuff kind of comes in. I will say that our maybe I just suck at Instagram. This show has been broadcast now for, like I said, for almost 6 years on Facebook. So I'm not surprised that we had the Facebook response that we do. But yeah, so there you go. I do want to remind everybody, I also meant to bring this up in the slideshow presentation earlier, but my annual Christmas tradition is coming back once again. So for those of you that are unfamiliar, we started this during the pandemic when so many people found themselves stuck at home alone on Christmas. And there's a lot of people that just don't have anybody, right? Like they don't have family per se. Like, for example, I have no family here. Murphy is the extent of my family here in Seattle. And I can't go home for Christmas. I can't go visit my family because we start New Year's Eve the very next day. So I spend Christmas alone. And now I'm okay with it, right? But it's occurred to me that there are some people out there that are not okay with it, with themselves being alone. So we started doing a Christmas Day Step Chat episode, and we're going to do it again. Now, the difference is that the Step Chat episode, of course, is done through Zoom. It's not done through StreamYard. It's done through Zoom. But this year we might do it through StreamYard. But the bottom line is that we invite anyone and everyone who's watching to come on the call with us. That's part of it's in the Float group, right? So it's kind of under lock and key, so to speak. But we invite people to come out there who are basically alone on Christmas, or maybe you're not alone. Maybe you're with your family and you want a break from the family, right? So because we get that too. We get a lot of people that get on there and just hang out with us because they're like, yeah, everybody's having fun, but I wanted to come out here and say hi to everybody and blah blah blah. That's great. So there we go. So yeah, it's something that we do every year now. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that very much. So yeah, we will be doing it once again. I'm not sure about Teresa's. I'm not sure about Teresa's Christmas Eve episode. So Teresa always does a TMI episode on Christmas Eve, and then I do the live on Christmas Day. But as you know, we had to suspend the live broadcasts from the Float Network. We had to kind of disband the Float Network. We might make an exception with Teresa's show, though, simply because of the fact that it's once a year. So there's that. But yeah. I am not seeing any new questions coming in, so I'm going to give it another minute or so. And if not, then I'm going to take this dog home so he can finally stop hounding me. I think he's finally worn himself out. Oh, no, he's not worn himself out. His ball is sitting here at my feet. He's been waiting for me to throw that crappy thing around. So there we go. There you have it. So, yeah. Okay. Well, folks, it does appear that we might be done for the night as far as our questions go. So thank you all very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Again, we do this show every Sunday. So if you've got more questions, by all means, and again, you can always reach out to me, between now and then anyway, but we will be doing this show every Sunday night. And now that hopefully we can figure out what went wrong with the screen sharing. For all I know, we can't do it on this new, thing. But what's weird about it is that the graphic was showing, which is why I'm thinking that maybe it was, but I don't know. It could be wrong, but maybe we just may not be able to do it on the live screen. But yeah, so hopefully you can join us again next Sunday. And if you got new questions or whatever, there you go. But in the meantime, Jessica Patty, Jessica from Bargain Balloons. Good to see you. Question: how many registration people are there? As of right now, it's still an estimate because most of our sponsors have still not filled out their damn paperwork. But the estimate right now is between 650 and 700. I'm thinking it's closer to 650 than it is 7. But of course, what's happening is we're also getting a lot of like we had one sponsor that, they had 2 spots and they brought like 7. So I just don't know how well there's no way to project right now what that's going to be. And I know there's going to be some of our sponsors that don't even try to sign up until I'm trying to get on the plane. That's another story. So there we go. But yeah, right now I think we're at about 650 to 700. But again, I think it's closer to 650. So yeah, part of the issue this year is we don't have the cutoff. I mean, we do, but we don't. Like the truth of the matter is, we can only fit 900 people at the gala. And it never occurred to me that we could only fit 900 people at the gala until recently. But we've been telling people all year long, oh, well, we're not going to sell out this year because the hotel's got like 2,000 rooms. It never ever occurred to me that we could still max out the space we're in. So technically, we have room for 900. That's the most we can host. But we're at 657. I don't anticipate that being a problem at this point. And I think it would be very disingenuous at this point for me to suddenly turn around and say, oh, we're almost sold out. When number one, we're not almost sold out. Because that just never goes well when people find out. Why would you lie about that? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Because people can count, right? I mean, there you go. So there's all that. So, got a question from Tabitha Miller. Floaties could be submitted tonight until midnight Central Time. You can go all the way to midnight Pacific Time. In fact, the truth of the matter probably is, I don't see myself staying up till midnight my time to address the floaties. So you could probably squeeze it in tomorrow morning, but I guarantee you, don't bank on that because I don't know what time the web guys are going to change it. Okay, that's simple. Good question though. There you go. And remember, you have to submit your photos within 24 hours of payment. Okay. If you don't, you get kicked out. So there's that. Okay. All righty, folks. Thank you all very much. Again, it humbles me that so many of you choose to spend Sunday nights with me here at the Floatress of Solitude. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to see a lot of you at Float. And by the way, if I have never had the pleasure of meeting you, please, unless I'm running around with my head cut off, like literally like please take a moment at Float to stop me and say hello, because I would love to meet you. I'd love to know who the people are behind the screen names and the you know, all that stuff. So yeah, I'd love that. We got another last second question coming in. Are PNGs okay or only JPEGs? PNGs are fine these are for the floaty entries. PNGs are fine. Just make damn sure you label them correctly according to the rules, because if you don't, they will be sent back. I've already had 3 people submit photos that they gave me lengthy descriptions, but the pictures are image blah blah blah. No, gotta label them correctly or else they don't count. It's that simple. Okay, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Until we talk again, go out there and kick some butt. See you next time.